Hello, everyone. How are you doing this evening? Hi, Shirley. So nice to see you. So, I hope you are all having a lovely Monday. It hasn't been too crazy for you. So, we have a lovely bundle for this evening. The link to the bundle is in the description box. Hi, Stephanie. The link to the bundle is in the description box. We're going to play with some faux honey tonight. I don't know if you've seen this gorgeous product. We're going to talk about this and play with it a little bit. We're going to do some embossing. We're going to play with this lovely new chipboard. So tonight's bundle is included in the bundle tonight. We have the Be Yourself stamp set, which is an older stamp set, but so good. We're going to use this to actually put the sentiment and this little bee image on the inside of our card tonight. We have the Sweet Honeybee 6x6 paper collection. And any of the papers in this collection would work perfectly for tonight's card. I'm probably going to use this like little bee one here, but any of them would work. We have the Beehive chipboard, and we're going to make a shaker out of this, which is totally awesome. Some phone book cardstock, some acetate, and then we have our faux honey lemon drop embossing powder and white gesso. As an add-on, I am also going to be using some penny embossing powder to give our bees a little more interest. And from my stash, I am going to use some foam tape to do our shaker and some shaker fill. So whatever you have, whatever you like, I'm going to use these little gold stars. But whatever you have, any kind of sequins in your stash would work for that. Oh, happy Monday to you too, Stephanie. Hi, Karen. So nice to see you. So we're going to start with our chipboard because that is what needs to kind of dry. That's going to need a little bit of dry time. Not a lot, just a little bit. So that's where we're going to start for tonight. So nice to see everyone this evening. So this chipboard pops right out. We are going to keep this one, the bottom piece, the natural chipboard color, but we are going to put gesso on this one, and we're also going to go ahead and do the 3 small bees. Ah, smells like burnt wood. I love the way that smells. For those of you who have been watching me for a long time, I have amazing news. Look what I got. I've been listening to you. Everyone keeps telling me I needed one of these, so I got one, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so the 3 bees and this bottom piece, that's what we are going to go ahead and paint. We're going to put a layer of gesso on them. The white gesso is included in tonight's bundle, one of my favorite things. Well, I love the chipboard at Brutus Monroe. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's not cardboard. It's actually chipboard, and it's really, really nice. So I really love that. So we're going to just go ahead and we're going to put a layer. I am just going to paint right onto my glass surface because I know it will wipe up super easy. And I have my little stencil tray over here to catch my paintbrush. And that's also going to give me a little bit of water to wipe up the paint, the gesso on my glass mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a nice layer. And then I'm going to pick it up, pop it up here to dry. This dries super fast. We're going to go ahead and kind of do the rest of the card and then come back to this. And it's only going to take a couple minutes. After we're done, we'll have nice dry gesso, nice and quick. It dries really, really quick. So I hope that everyone had a really nice weekend. I went away. I went to the Mega Meet, a scrapbooking show in Ohio. And then I spent a couple days at my favorite scrapbook retreat, which is also in Ohio. So worked out really well. Yes. Karen said my favorite glue gun, easy on my arthritis. Yeah, I listen to everyone who if I have so many issues with my joints and joint pain and everything. And so many of you, we had a whole conversation about it here on my live one night. So many of you said, you need one. So I went and got one this weekend. I was at that show in Ohio and I didn't have to pay shipping to get one. I could pick one up. So that's what we did. So I just have a microfiber cloth here and I'm just wiping up the mess. Easy, easy, easy peasy. Okay. So we have our gessoed pieces. We're going to let them dry. And we're going to go ahead and work on our card. So the honeybee or the beehive chipboard, you can use it to create a shaker like we are going to do, but you could also not create a shaker with it. So you have options as to what you want to do with it and how you want to do it. Hi, Sean. Well, that's lovely. Thank you so much for coming, even though you can just watch and not hear us. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. That's so super kind of you. So what I'm going to do, because this beehive can be used as a shaker or not as a shaker, the hole for the beehive is cut out, but we need to cover this up or we'll have a leaking shaker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, grab my glue press. Here. And we're just going to put some glue around the edge of this hole, and then we're going to cover it up with some pattern paper. And it's not going to take much, just a little square. And then that can dry. And then we have all of the elements we need. That also adds just a little bit of extra detail to our finished shaker piece. So I can go ahead and cut down our phone book cardstock and our sweet honeybee paper pad. I'm going to go ahead and flip through. If you haven't seen this paper pad yet, I'll flip through some of it so you can see all the pretty patterns. I love it. It's so cute. This is probably my favorite. I just love that contrast. And this stripe is also a favorite as well. So pretty. This is the pattern we're going to use today. And then it just repeats. So lots of really cute, fun patterns in this collection. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, I know there are a lot of us. I feel like paper crafting is just one of those hobbies that works really well for someone who has joint issues or autoimmune diseases, those kinds of things, because I find a lot of people in this industry who have the same things to deal with as I do. So lots of kindred spirits here. So I'm going to cut the phone book cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to cut down my 6 by 6 paper. I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to drop my trimmer, which is always not fun. Okay. I'm going to put the pattern paper onto my cardstock. And in that time, we're dry. How awesome is that? So the next thing we want to do is we are going to heat emboss the honey beehive and the 3 little bees. Yeah. And this is going to be a little more noisy, so talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so we have our 3 bees and our main beehive. There is no magic of TV tonight, unfortunately. We are able to do this particular project start to finish in probably less than an hour. So how cool is that? So not only is this project like adorable and cute, but pretty quick too. So that's always a good thing. So I'm going to use my mixed media embossing folder, which, by the way, I'm going to need a new one because you can see it's starting to, and this is why I have to. The mixed media one is starting to crumble on me. So we're going to need a new mixed media embossing ink next time I order from Brutus Monroe. It has to happen because this one's getting too beat up. But again, that's kind of its job. Stephanie, you are so correct. Yep. We find our way. So. Getting a coat of the lemon drop. So this is the lemon drop embossing powder. So I don't think we're going to do any embossing. This is probably going to be my last embossing project with this ink pad because I think I'm going to need a new one before I do another project because it's really crumbling up on me. But that's why I have a pristine one and one that looks like someone's chewed on it. Okay. I am going to do this all in one go. So I am going to put the embossing ink and the embossing powder on all 3 of the butterflies and my honeybee. The honeybees. And then I'm going to also hit them all with the heat tool at the same time. So we are messy tonight, but next week we're going to be messier. This week we're just playing with embossing powders and stuff. Next week we're going to play with the whipped honey. Okay. Just need something to hold on to these while I heat emboss them. I am still not 100% on my trip and my weekend. So if I have to golf, that's why, because I pulled everything that I thought I would need. But you know how that goes. All right. Heat up my heat tool and then we'll all these. And we're going to double emboss. There I am. Okay, I have no idea what just happened. Okay, there. I do not know what just happened. All right. Okay, does everyone see me now? I have no idea where I went. I don't know. So oh yeah, definitely. I'm with Stephanie. It was the gremlins. That was weird. Okay. So here's our honey beehive and our 3 little bees. And then for our 3 little bees, I wanted to do something that would, I see them. Honey, I don't have gremlins. I see we're technical difficulty here. All right. Karen's back. I'm frozen. I can. This is annoying. Morgan. Ooh. Stephanie. Stephanie can see you, but the audio is a bit choppy. Could be from the heat tool. It could be. I don't know that the heat tool, but it's something's definitely lunky tonight. I'm with Karen. It's the full moon. It's glitching, but at least it didn't turn off my screen. It literally turned off my screen earlier. Now it just looks like I'm having issues. Oh, maybe that, you know what? That's strange, but maybe you're right. Hi, Margie. Christina says maybe the video seems to not like your heat tool. Well, that's strange. Okay, we just have a little bit more to do. Just a wee little bit. So here's our honey and here's our bees. But I want to put these little bees on top of this, and I didn't want them to come right. So what I'm going to take, I'm going to take honey embossing, and I'm going to just heat emboss the top half of the bee. And I'm going to do this super simply. So I'm just going to take the top half of that bee and just push him a little bit into my embossing ink. So just a little bit, just enough that the wee top of him gets a little bit of that pretty honey color. I hope that I smooth out as I keep going too. I don't know what the problem is. But I'm just going to keep going. Just keep, Mimo, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. That's what we're doing. So we're just going to put a little bit of that penny just on the top of those bees. Well, I can see Stephanie. I can see Christina. Oh, I know why, Christina. The reason that you can only see you and Nikki is because you are probably watching from my channel. So if you're watching from my YouTube channel, you'll only be able to see the comments from the people that are also watching on my YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, you only see the comments from everybody else that is watching on Facebook. But if you're on Brutus Monroe's channel, then you see every comment, all of them. Thank you for the fish. Yep, just keep swimming. We're just going to keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and hit these with the heat tool really quick. Just know that's what I'm doing. If it like blacks out or, you know, I don't know, full moon, gremlins, whatever. And then our bees will have some contrast. And they'll pop against our shaker. Okay. Hello, Stamper girl. Okay. So I'm just going to wipe up my mat here quick. And I'll clean it better later. And that'll give these bees some time to cool. So I can bring them up to the camera and show them to you. So if you see here, you'll see how I embossed them. I did it twice. And then you'll notice that the penny embossing powder is not done perfectly. I just swiped it over because I wanted those little bits of like the little bits of this embossing powder like to be sprinkly. It gives it sort of a kind of rustic, grungy look, but I love it. Okay, so now we need this part and this part. And we need our acetate. Hey, Miss Candy. Stephanie says, oh, yes, we made it. Phew. Yes, we're done. There are, yes. Oh, gosh, if you guys could give me a thumbs up, that would be the absolute best. That's a huge, huge help for the algorithm and for Facebook and all those things. Candy's amazing. She remembers all the stuff. I get all involved in creating things and forget all the stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting, just a smidgen, because we need to, so I just used my glue press, put glue on the back of the top, and then we're going to go ahead and let that go just a beat, and then we're going to cut around that chipboard. And it is essential that I find my scissors. We are going to need my scissors for this. Although we could use my X-Acto knife to cut around it if we have to. Because it looks as though my scissors are still in the pack. Oh, wait. So we'll use this. Oh, yay, good. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, there's gremlins. So I am just going to go ahead. I'm going to go take my X-Acto knife right up against the edge of the chipboard. Get under it a little bit if I can. And then cut away. And it doesn't matter whether you use like an X-Acto light knife like I'm using, or if you use some scissors. My scissors appear to still be packed away somewhere. I thought I had pulled them out, but I didn't. So, and this will work just as good. In fact, might even work better. I'm so glad this cleared up. I would hate for it to be I agree. Christina asked if I did an unboxing of this collection. I did not. So I received my products Friday, and then I left town. Or I received my products Wednesday, and then I left town. But if you want an unboxing, I certainly could. Now that I'm back home, I certainly could go ahead and do one. Because I got most of this line. I got all of the Honeybee release, all of the Winnie the Pooh release. Yeah, so I definitely could film an unboxing if you wanted one. Absolutely. We are definitely going to be playing with all the chipboards in this line for sure on my Monday lives, because when I placed my order, I ordered 2 of all of the chipboards so that I could play with the chipboards and do one practice card and then one live. So we're going to play with all of the honey chipboards for sure. And all the mixed media. So the whipped honey glazes, we're going to play with those next week, actually. There. So that went pretty easily. There we go. Okay, you got it, Christina. I will pull it together and I will film it probably tomorrow. I don't know that it'll be up on my channel tomorrow, but I'll film it tomorrow. And then it'll probably be up on my channel Wednesday. I just know I have doctor's appointments all morning tomorrow morning. So, but thank you for coming. Have a lovely evening. So here is the finished beehive with the acetate. And now we can go ahead and flip it over. And we're going to grab some foam tape. So when I use the foam tape, what I like to do a shaker is I like to get a nice big long strip and take off both sides of the adhesive. So I like to take off both sides of the release paper completely. And I'm using some older foam tape from my stash that I really just need to use up. So, but when you have it this way, where it's just one long strip, then you can manipulate it so much better. And this is a tighter fit. So this is exactly the foam tape I'm using that I used on my card is exactly the width of the beehive. So you do have to watch because when I did the mock-up one, it was easy. We got it done, no problem. Can't see it on the other side, but it is exactly the width. But because this is so, I want to say bubbly, we have all of these bubbles, the rounded corners. This is the best way to do it, is to take off both sides of your foam tape. And then you can manipulate it around those corners. Don't stick it to your X-Acto knife. We discussed this last week, right? The fact that paper crafters that are doing lives. We make all the same mistakes you make at home. We just do it live in front of all of you. So be kind to us. I would also say that because don't worry about the sticky, because as long as you can get this manipulated around the beehive corners the way that you want, even if manipulating it causes your foam tape to de-stick, which it could, you can add wet glue on top and you'll be good. But what you really want to do is make sure that everything is manipulated around those corners. You want to make sure that that foam tape is really well stuck around those corners so that you don't have any gaps. And there we go. So here is what I'm going to use to fill my shaker. It's just these really small gold pieces. And I'm going to spread them around a little bit. There we go. Yay, I think I'm nice and clear still. Good, good, good. And then I am going to add some glue here just to make sure that everything sticks the way it should. Because we did have our fingers all over that adhesive, although it still seems to be quite sticky. Okay. And then we can place the top down like we're making a cookie. The wet glue is also going to give us a minute or two that we can manipulate and get everything lined up nice and straight. And I'm sorry if you can hear my child in the background. He has headphones in and is apparently laughing at something.
Yes, it's hysterical.
All right, there we go. So there is our shaker. So cute. Let's grab our card base now. Also, tonight's bundle, if you buy the bundle tonight, which again, it's in the description box below, you can grab tonight's bundle with all the products that we use to make the card. You will receive a free gift and you will receive some free card bases in your bundle, which is awesome. These are my favorite card bases. They are super nice. Inside our card, that's where we're going to put our sentiment for this evening. So I'm going to grab my Misty. I'm going to open it up. Put the card base in there. I'm going to use the stamp set that came in tonight's bundle, which is the Be Yourself stamp set. This has the cutest sentiments. So look at these sentiments. It says, when life hands you lemons, toss them back. How do snails keep in touch? They use shell phones. And just be yourself. If someone doesn't like it, they can buzz off. And then you have these cute little icons across the bottom. Such a cute stamp set. So we're going to use that just be yourself sentiment on the inside, because the front of our card is going to be pretty, it's pretty full, right? So we have our shaker, we have our bees, and you see how that shaker is going to fill up that card front really, really, really well. So we'll put the sentiment on the inside of that card tonight. Hi, Susan. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, even though we have gremlins and a full moon. And it's a mess. I'm a mess. I don't know if you can see this or not. My hands and fingers are covered in gesso. There is still embossing powder on my glass mat. I'm like the messiest scrapbooker tonight, or the messiest card maker tonight. I don't know what's going on there. Some nights I'm super neat and I'm cleaning up after myself and everything's lovely. And other nights we have, it's like all my stuff exploded. So I'm just going to stamp my sentiment. Just be yourself here. Till I have, I'm going to do it 3 times. I want a nice, crisp, black, easy to read stamped image. So I'll do that. And then underneath our sentiment, I'm going to center this little bee from the stamp set and stamp it in black. There we go. Perfect. I agree, Misty. Misty says a little mess is the sign of a masterpiece. I agree. So we're going to go ahead and put that cute little bee underneath. I love to decorate the inside of cards. There we go. So there's the inside. So cute. And now it's time to take all these different elements and put them all together. Susan asks, Karen, the master's at work. Mwah. Thank you. Susan asks, how do we get to see the bundle? Okay, so the bundle is in the description box. There's a link that goes straight to it. If you go to Brutus Monroe's website, you can click across the top. When you go into the website, across the top, there is the little Make It Monday with Sara graphic. You can click on that, and that will take you right to the bundle. I did go through and show it at the beginning of the live, and we're almost done now. So if you, when we finish up here, if you want to go back to the beginning and see all of the different all the different products, like one by one, you can do that too. But they're all listed on the website in the bundle. And Christina asked if I would go through all of this product release and do an unboxing, which I will do for everyone to see. So the only thing I will tell you is that this paper definitely has an upside and a downside. So don't put your bees on upside down. So I'm going to pop this right up against the fold. And then we'll add our shaker piece right here. And I want this to be centered. This is going to have a little like moment here because, and I'm probably going to get my fuzzy head in the camera because this has to be centered. And the best way to get it centered is to get right up close and personal to it. There we go. So cute. We have to talk about our honey next. Because don't forget, we need honey on our beehive. So we're going to make more of a mess. So these are the little chipboards, and see how it contrasts against the beehive. That's what I wanted, just a nice contrast so that the little bees didn't blend in too much with the beehive. So now it's going to go wonky. Yes. Yes, Susan, you guys, you finally talked me into one. This is all, this purchase was you guys, my dear friends here on the live that were like, you need one. I love it. Thank you. Okay. So there's our little bees. So let's talk about this fun product. So this is faux honey. It is a mixed medium, right? And you can, it's just like honey. So it drips like honey. And you can, it's so cool. In fact, hold on one second. Let me see if I have that I can show you this example card. 1 second. So see when it dries, this is how it looks. You can do a whole card front and it will just drip right down your paper like honey. And it'll, kind of, it's so cool. And I love how when it dries, there's like these darker areas and lighter areas. Like it is just a fun medium. Isn't that totally awesome? Like I absolutely love that honey. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and we're going to drip it down over our beehive. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And all you have to do is take the smallest little bit and you just put a little blop of it and then let it drip. And it's not thick, like it's not a thick medium. So it will just drip down, just like honey. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paper to catch the little drippies. So we're letting gravity do our work for us. And if you want more drips, you can add more drips. If you want less drips, you can add less drips. But you just kind of pour it and let it bloop. That's a technical term, by the way, bloop. You're just going to bloop some of it at the top of your beehive and then let it go all the way down to the bottom. And this is exactly how I did the card I showed you, this Winnie the Pooh card I showed you. I literally just poured some across the top of the whole panel and then just let it bloop. So when you like the way it looks, when you like how the drips are, I like the way this looks. You can see it here. Just set it aside and let it dry. It does take a long time to dry. Well, like overnight. It doesn't take any longer than any other medium, mixed media, medium, any either, really. So you just let it drip till you're happy with it. So if now I'm just going to stop and I'm going to go lay this flat and then see these drips will just stop there. They won't spread anymore and they'll just dry. And that's our card for tonight. So here is another example, same card design, except that instead of I did more of a straight and did actually half of the bee instead of letting it be a little bit messier, but I like it a little messier. I used a different shaker fill because that's completely up to you what you use. And then here are the little drips. See how it dried, how the drips dry. But this stuff is so much fun. I love it. I love playing with it. I think it's such a neat medium and such a fun product. It's so super fun. So, but it's so easy to use and it just bloops and just runs down whatever you want it to. I did another card where I dipped die cut cookies down right into the bottle. And then my die cut cookies looked like they were dipped in honey. So cool. So this stuff is awesome. It's the bomb. So that is tonight's live. If you could hit a thumbs up on the video, despite the gremlins and the full moon, I would appreciate it so much. And I will take photos of my cards. I'll post it online tomorrow. And then, yeah, that's it for tonight. I think we're on time. Are we a little bit early? Nope, we are right on time. So, and I did this all in real time, start to finish. So, this project is a project you can easily complete in an hour, probably less than an hour because Unlike me, you won't be chit-chatting. Right? Right. Okay. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'm so happy you joined me today. Christopher will be live tomorrow. The boys, Sean and Walter, will be live on Wednesday. Christopher will be back on Thursday. Candy will be back here on Friday. I don't know how I ended up being the girl that gets to start the week off on Mondays, but here we are, and I love it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you again soon. Bye.